you all bear with me. I'm about to like kind of go down a rabbit trail, I guess, but um I'm out here giving out gospel tracts to people and planting seeds, and I've been really thinking about how how the world puts labels on things, and you'll understand what I'm going at with just a second. So just like try to follow my brain as I say this. But the world puts labels on things, and some things do need labels. They do. Like corn needs a label sometimes, Um, beef versus like lamb needs a label because not everybody knows the difference. Um, but we're all fearfully and wonderfully created. Each individual one of us is completely different than somebody else. Yeah, some might have blonde hair, some might have dark skin that kind of looks the same as somebody else's, but we're all different. And we all have different fingerprints, but we all have the same emotions. We don't all do the same things with our emotions, and we all express them differently. And the same thing with labels for like mental health. Like people have ADHD, hyperactive disorder. Some people have attention deficit disorder. But you know what? Like they weren't really labels until kids started going to school. And because they couldn't sit and do the whole, and I'm going to say 9 to 5, but because they couldn't sit and do the whole 9 to 5 and get them ready for school life or for work life, because that's all really school is, people, hold on. But anyways, people, so they put labels on it, but kids are meant to be kids, and God calls us to be childlike in the sense of we need to be childlike in our faith. We need to have a child mindset. And not all of us. There's a guy getting into the back trunk of his car. But anyways, we're just called to be like a child in the sense of how we think, how we learn, how we grow, how we like talk to people. And we need to understand that when we talk to people, we don't have to be on a intellectual level as them. We don't have to fit in. We don't have to strive to do things. We don't have to strive to be like everybody else. A child growing up does not know the difference. They do not see color in the sense of like racism. They do not see somebody with a disability and stuff like that. They might go, hey, that person's a little bit different, like, but they don't see difference. And they have like a curiosity to them, and they have impulse control issues, and they have like attention deficit, and I'm just saying what it is. And when I say this, I mean by no means do I take mental health lightheartedly. I do not. I have children with actual like ADHD. It is a daily struggle, but in impulse controls. But I think in a sense we need to know the difference between what is appropriate and not appropriate, and the boundaries of it without crushing the child's spirit. So for example, my daughter, that child, she will get hurt in the instant. Like she just doesn't think. One example was we were down at the lake and she had a life jacket on. She decided to take the life jacket off and like run and yeet herself into the water, knowing that she don't know how to swim, and she almost drowned. Had my mom not have been there to like grab her and like pull her up underneath the dock and up on top of the dock. And it was just like 1 second. And kids don't think to just not run out in front of cars. But I think in the same sense, we need to have that impulse ability of where when God tells us to do something, we need not to hesitate. We need to do it in a sense of right now. And sometimes God will put something on our hearts and we do have to wait a minute. So like For example, if you have kids and your kids are butt naked just coming out of the shower, but the good Lord calls you to go to the neighbor's house and bring them dinner. Well, you don't bring your kids over butt naked and not have dinner for them. You see, you know what I'm saying? But you do it. You don't second guess it. When I was just in the store, I was sitting there and I had a $1,000,000 gospel tract, and I'll show you. And I pulled it out of my bag, and the good Lord just told me to set it on top of a box of chips. And usually, like, like our anxiety, our fears are like our things of, am I gonna get caught? Worrying. It stops us from doing it. But I did it anyways. It's like kids. You sit there and you diligently do something. Hold on. So, anyways, we need to not second guess ourselves, because anxiety, fear, worry, doubt, it's not of God. It's of Satan, and it holds us back from doing the things that we are meant to do. My children, actually, I'm channeling their love for Jesus, their love for God, and their abilities into a point where it's channeled into something good. So my kids cannot focus on sports. They really can't. We tried it. We tried like cross country and stuff because my son likes to run, but it doesn't last. But however, if we have these bracelets and they say Jesus loves you, they look like these, and we just go around and because you never know what somebody's going through. You never know what kind of day they're having. You never know. And we go around giving here's the $1,000,000 gospel tract. And looks like real money. But anyways, they got different ones. But they all basically say the same thing. But anyways, so I have my kids go out and I have them sit there and I channel my daughter struggles with. So anyways, what I was saying was the bracelets and the tracks and stuff. We don't go and force Jesus down people's throat, but at the same time we do evangelize to people. But because you never know what somebody's going through. So a bracelet and a $1,000,000 tract, but everybody's one in a million. And I tell my kids, because they can't focus on things for so long, and my daughter has problems making friends. She's she has social anxiety. So by her going up to kids and be like, hey, do you want a bracelet, or check out this tract, and it opens up her social anxiety is what it does. But it's really cool because when you break that ice of something in common, like my daughter gave out a bracelet one time. She found out that this little girl her favorite color was the same favorite color as hers, and they had a lot of common at the park. And it channels things. And then my kids, they like to go run all around the parks and the stores, and they're like, hey, anybody want a free bracelet? We're just trying to bring a smile to people's faces. It's really cool. $1,000,000 tracts and stuff. So I'm trying to channel their love for Jesus and channel in a positive way. And me, I have impulse issues, but mine aren't bad. And I think we all struggle with impulse issues at some point, because we do. We struggle. And it's just one of those things where I have to stop myself and be like, is this God telling me or is this not God telling me? But if it's 100% God telling me to do it, I try not to second guess it. And Ray Comfort said one time, I heard it. It was, I know it's in his book about evangelism, but it's pretty sure I heard it on one of his podcasts too. But he was talking about how God gives us a day, every day of our life to be alive. We need to be doing something with it. And this is going to tie in with this that I just heard today, where this was from Billy Graham, and he goes, we are given, or we give our 10% to the church, but we're not giving our 10% of time. And people that don't have money can't give their 10% of money, so they give their 10% of time and 10% of like food and stuff like that. Well, if you break down a week, because I just did this and it's all tying together, there's 168 hours in a week. 10% of that is 16 hours, 16.8 hours. That's 2.6 hours a day every week. So I try to, not every day can I do it, but some days, like if we're out traveling or whatever, we do multiple stops and stuff. But I try to just go place tracks and give them out to people and bracelets and stuff. And that's what I'm doing now. I just gave a woman $1 million track and some bracelets for her kids. So that was cool. And the woman that knocked on my window, so funny. She knocked on my window because my car was back a little bit in her spot, and it was no big deal. But I'm not used to I'm used to this van, but I keep forgetting how big this van is sometimes. So that was cool. So what I'm saying is don't try to limit your kids, but try to channel their like disabilities of the world and channel them for something good, and watch what happens. And don't be afraid to do what God is telling you to do. Just a message laid upon my heart to tell you guys. Just something that I've been thinking about and stuff like that too. So, but like I was saying, Ray says that he tries to go out every day, whether he feels like it or not, energy good or bad. He goes out and witnesses to people and spreads the gospel with people, and that's just what I'm trying to do. And like I said, sometimes I can't do it. Some days, it is what it is. But I'm gonna hop off here. I love you guys. See you next time. Bye. If you watched all the way to the end, make sure you give it a thumbs up so I know. Bye, guys.